It's time for the Dog and Pauly podcast on FingerLakes1.com, featuring Harold Webb Dog Weber and Paul Hellstrom.
It is a Wednesday, June 27th, 2012. It's going to get hot the next few days. We got a hot show lined up this morning as the Ohmanns and Chris Ebright pay us a visit here on the Dog and
Pauly Show.
We've got lots to talk about here on a Wednesday morning as the forecast is supposed to be spectacular. And no doubt it's going to be great leading up to the 4th of July, which, of course, is a week from today. We welcome you to the Dog and Pauly Show here on FingerLakes1.com. I am Harold Weber, the dog, and, of course, my buddy Paul Hellstrom is Pauly. And it's just great to have our friends come back and join us. And our first guest we'd like to introduce is Leslie Ohmann. Leslie, welcome. I understand, Leslie, of course, the wife of Bob Ohmann. It's nice to have you on, and you were nervous about coming on, but I'm not going to pick on you for the next hour.
Oh, thanks. That'd be
It's good to have you
It's
alongside.
good to be here, though.
We're going to talk to Leslie about her passion for baseball and a lot of other sports, including, I understand, she's a race car fan and a host of other things. Her husband, Bob, is out of camera, if you may realize. He wants to allow Leslie and Chris to do the talking for the operations, which is okay. Chris Ebright, the head coach of the Newark Pilots, coming off a big win last night, which we broadcast. Chris, Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And let's talk a little bit about first the team. Chris, we'll let you lead off and get some comments from Leslie. You're 10-7 through 17.
Mm-hmm.
You play, 48 games in total?
Yep.
So you're about a third of the way home.
Yep. Give
Give us your report card on what you like, what you don't like, what you think needs to be improved as you chase Amsterdam, who's leading the division by, 2 or 3 games?
4.
About
Actually,
4 games? Okay.
4 games.
But give us a good report card through 17.
I'll give us a C+.
Okay.
Actually, we've got to get better. Too many walks.
Mhm.
Not getting runners in from third, less than 2 outs. We need guys to start getting the big hits with runners in scoring position. So I think once we get that going, we're going to be really tough.
Now, we should point out last night, if you missed the game, you certainly can go back and replay it on FingerLakes1.com, our broadcast last night with Elmira being the opponent. Talk a little bit about last night's game, Chris. A gentleman named Justin Body of Elmira pitched a masterpiece for there about 5 innings. He looked unbeatable, unstoppable, and then you finally got to him.
Yep, he's good. He had a split finger that we couldn't pick up very well, and we were just swinging for days. But then once our guys, one time through the order, finally recognized it, and that's Elmira's weakness is their bullpen. So that was our goal to get to them, and finally did it.
And he finally did.
Yep.
Well, Pauly, please chime in anytime you'd like to. Of course, I got Leslie here. Leslie, having met you a few weeks ago, realizing that you are a passionate owner, you get involved. Tell us about your love for baseball, and when did that start? How long ago did you get involved in following baseball? I know you're a big Atlanta Brave fan. We should
I
point
am a
out.
Braves fan.
Talk about when was that? When did you start loving baseball? Way back when?
Probably when I was about 15 years old. Actually, this older gentleman, I called him Pawpaw at the time, and he liked the Braves, watched every game, loved it, got me into it. I think it was when Pete Smith was pitching for them.
Okay.
That's when I really started watching baseball, and I actually would prefer to watch it on television than in the park, professional ball anyway.
Really?
Yeah. There's just too much going on. Maybe it's a little bit of my attention deficit, but too much going on everywhere, and I like the pace of the game, and that's really what I fell in love with.
Now, being an Atlanta Brave fan, Paul and myself, Bobby Cox, the legendary manager for a zillion years.
One of those you either love or hate.
And most people loved him?
Yeah, depends on what game it was, but yeah.
And, of course, you mentioned about one of your all-time surefire Hall of Famer, Chipper Jones, which eventually, this is last year, right? Is he done after this year? Chipper, or is he kind
actually,
of
I think they just re-signed him. I'm not sure.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I thought I read that.
I had heard that he was going to pack it in, but you may be right. But it's nice to know a player that you followed for so many years is a surefire Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
He has done an outstanding job. And
yeah.
The Braves look tough. And, of course, in that division, as you know, Philadelphia's struggling, but without Ryan Howard, and he's expected back soon. But, of course, the Phillies get comfortable when the Pirates come into town. I see they beat Pittsburgh 2 in a row. The Mets have bumbled, stumbled, like Chris Berman would say on SportsCenter. They've lost 2 in a row to the Cubs, which I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but they got to be the worst team in baseball, winning 24 thus far. And so the Mets have found a way to lose 2 straight in Chicago. So, the passion to watch baseball. My wife Mary's a big Yankee fan, and she and I know that.
God bless her.
I know she is. She's a Yankee fan, true and blue. And I know that Bob, your husband's a big Yankee fan.
Yeah, diehard.
A diehard. And I guess the point is, Mary will watch every game, and I think, are you like this when you watch a Braves game? If they're down 9-0 in the 4th inning, do you continue to watch the entire game?
Oh, yeah.
See, Mary's the same way, and I always crack up because I come through the living room because I'm in the other room watching something else because I have, as you say, I get bored real easy, and I see a 9-0 game. I don't get excited about continuing to watch it. And Mary's right there every pitch to the last out. She says, honey, there's still innings left. And I guess that's the attitude you got to have.
You do. And it's funny because sometimes Bob and I can't even watch a game in the same room.
Been there, done that.
Really. It's preferable that way. It's preferably, I tell him, you go down in the basement and watch it on your big screen, and I'm sitting out on the deck watching it at home.
Right.
But, yeah, we just argue too much, and I have faith, and he's like, they're done, and I'm like, come on, it's never over. It isn't over.
It's not over
till
till the fat lady sings.
That's right. So
I got to jump in for a minute.
Yeah.
That's part of being a Yankee fan. If you're a long-time Yankee fan, you're very critical of the now Yankees versus what you saw when you were younger. The models of consistency, the steady Eddie Lopez, they're looking for 90 pitches from a guy now in 5 2/3 innings. The Braves had a pitcher before they were in Atlanta named Warren Spahn. He was 5'9". He was a left-hander. He lost a 13-inning game to Harvey Haddix, who won it, who pitched all 13 innings for the Pirates back then, won the nothing.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yep. The hitters got better, or the athletes are just better now, but pitching's what seemed to change the most. But if you're a Yankee fan and you go out there and Andy Pettitte gives up 5 runs in the first inning the other night, you're done. You're gone. You go out.
You're toast.
You're out for the night. And my wife will always say, what was the score last night? And sometimes I'll say, the Yankees came back in the end, won 7-5. You know a lot about baseball, don't you? She said, I don't know anything about it. But, so I think Yankee fans are more critical. But Braves, I want to mention one thing about the model of the Braves. I would say it would be very important for them to keep Chipper Jones on their team. Yeah. He announced at the beginning of the year this year that it was his last year.
Right.
And he had a tearful ceremony. But if he could stay on that team, I watched him play in the series against the Yankees.
Yep.
And he wasn't swinging woefully at pitches. He was hitting the ball, and he's advancing runners and doing things. And he's 40 now, 41.
He's got to be close to it.
Yeah, I would say there's room for him. That's just, he'd be ahead of a Longmore career in DHing if he was in the other side. Of course, you don't want to see him go to the other side.
No.
But that's another big thing with me, as baseball has stayed traditional over the years, the closest of any sport that's traditional. I can't understand why the two leagues don't get on the same page.
Oh, the designated hitter.
It's Major League Baseball, and you got to go to these series. And you got to say, oh, wait, my pitcher's got to bat this game. Or, oh, now he doesn't. They're in New York. He doesn't have to bat. And I think they ought to get it together and see if they could do that. I didn't mean to take that much time on it.
No.
The more you talk, the less I do. Southern's
I love it.
I love it.
We love it. That's Southern.
Great.
In Seneca Falls, we love a Southern draw.
Well, I do want to say, I have a funny story. I collected some baseball cards, a little bit here and there.
Sure.
And I thought I hit the gold mine. I got a misprint card.
Ooh.
It's a Tom Glavine card with a John Smoltz picture on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I, here I am thinking, ooh.
Worth a lot of money.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Like, this is so cool. Of course, I love both those pictures. Right. So I go and Google, and find out it's really not worth anything.
Really?
But I still hide it behind a picture in our home just to protect it so I know where it is forever and ever.
It would be awesome if you could get Maddox to autograph it.
Yeah.
Then you'd have the big three right there.
Right,
boom.
yeah.
Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox. That would be great.
It's just a funny little story.
That's cute. That's good.
It's amazing, though. I'm 67. I got a few years on Bob, who's to my left. And I guess when we were kids, baseball cards were a big thing. The Topps baseball cards out of the bubble gum. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think of saving them or keeping them. I just kind of just threw them away, I guess, after looking at them. It's amazing if people kept those things way back when. Some of them are worth a ton of money.
A lot.
Amazing, you know. I mean, you're talking about the idea of saving something, Jimmy. And you know, were you a baseball card collector?
Oh yeah, big
time.
I would have like the full set, 3 times over in the 80s.
Do you have any valuable ones?
Well, they were back in the
then.
80s when
Right.
you opened the book and it said Jose Canseco rookie's worth $42, and I had 8 of them. And then now Jose Canseco's rookie's worth 4 cents. But the worst story, story that's haunted me my whole life. My father used to collect them, you know, and all his friends when they were kids, so Willie Mays and you name it. So he had them all. And then he went away to college and stuffed them away in his closet. Comes home from college, my grandmother, his mother, had thrown them all out.
Oh, no.
Not good.
She just figured they were junk, And I would often think about that. But yeah, I had maybe 25 Ricky Henderson rookies, and none of them are worth anything anymore. Probably the most valuable card I have now would probably be the Cal Ripken Future Star card from like 1979, I think it was, or 1980. But he was on a Future Star card with I can't remember the guys that were on there, but that I think that one might be worth like $9. So
I was talking to a friend of Harold's when he was younger, and he told me that Harold had players like Eddie Matthews and Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris with a clothespin on the spokes of his bikes to make a muffler sound as the wheels would go around.
Oh, wow.
So that's what probably happened to Harold's collection of baseball cards.
Oh, yeah, I wish it was. I'm always amazed, Chris, and chime in, and certainly Leslie as well. I'm always amazed, you get these climatic home runs by A-Rod or the hit by Derek Jeter, the classic hit that he had earlier, and a fan will catch the ball and hold it up, and it's worth a lot of money.
Oh,
I mean, really, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And they give it back. They get a couple jerseys, a couple bats, a couple gloves. I'm saying to myself, I'm going to sound greedy now. Why would you do that? Why would you not get security to show you out of here and go to an auction house? Because that baby's worth a lot of gold. I guess you got to give him credit for doing it, giving it back to the athlete.
true fan.
True fan.
Well, that's respect of the game.
It is.
It's respect.
But
of the game.
But I guess I'm thinking about Gold Rush because this is worth a lot. I mean, do they think of that? Maybe when they catch the ball, I'm not so sure.
I
don't
think
know.
so. I mean, the guy who caught Derek Jeter's, I think, 3,000 home run,
Right.
3,000 home run. He got a year in the suites, I think.
Right.
They got something, but you're right. Those things are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Small
maybe,
fortune.
Yep.
But hey, I guess to each his own. I guess I find it ironic catching baseball. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. Recently, I think it was a Cincinnati game.
Guy caught 2
in a row. Did you see that, Leslie?
No, I did not.
A fan in the left. Oh, this is a classic. I think it's still on the ESPN archives. Fans out in left field. Cincinnati's playing. I'm thinking it might have been Atlanta. I'm not sure now. Line shot, left field, just in the first row, home run. Guy scrambles for the ball, holds up the ball. Great.
Wow. Yeah.
Got a ball. He's telling all his friends and his family he's got the ball. The next batter up, the very next batter up, hits a line drive left field. Same area, guy catches the ball.
Same guy.
Wow.
Same guy. Back to back. You talk about odds in Las Vegas at the Bellagio, and I mean, you talk about odds. The same individual catching 2 balls in a row in the same spot in the baseball field.
There was one.
Pretty staggering odds.
There was a guy, I think he was for the Twins. Might have been Denard Span a few years ago.
Span.
He hit a foul ball, and his mom actually got it.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is funny. Yeah, that is funny. Now,
didn't it hit his mom?
Maybe. I don't know. It has something to do with his mom. I know that.
I think the foul ball actually hit his mother.
That's unbelievable.
I don't think she caught it. But.
Well, the question is too, if folks started taking those balls and selling them left and right, left to right, kind of devalues, so it kind of would. That market would only last a short period, I would think, because then they're gonna stop getting the value.
No, you're right. That's right.
I think they would get. So, I think that the folks that have the respect and the love of the game, I mean, that's what you want to see anyway, really.
I think I asked you this before, Chris, and I want to get Leslie's comment. The umpires are under a lot of scrutiny in Major League Baseball. And from what I've heard from Leslie, sometimes she puts them under scrutiny with some of the calls they make.
A little bit.
But a little bit. But I mentioned this to Bob recently as well. I know it's a gut check. Umpires are human. We hear that all the time. They're affixed of having human errors. They make wrong calls sometimes. It's part of the game. I think you told me that. Last night I talked about the play with the Yankees-Indian game, whereas Wise hit the pop-up, went to catch the pop-up in the third base stands, and the fan 3 to his right held the ball up, and the umpire comes down and calls it a catch. A lot of speculation in a lot of the post-game shows last night on Yes Network and also on SNY, the Mets station, talking about it's about time that Seelig, the commissioner, does something about this and increases instant replay. You had comments. You didn't think it was the right thing to do, right? You think it should just play ball?
That's what I think.
And let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I think it takes too much time and, you know, the flow of the game, the pitchers. And, I mean, just like if we're talking about, was it Santana's no-hitter?
Yep.
Like, you know, he's in a groove. He's in a groove. It's supposed to be the opposing team, the batters, to get him out of his groove, not the umpires to run down and look in the camera. And that's what I think. I mean, just let him play. Let him keep going.
How do you argue the fact from people, and I don't know if Leslie takes the same view as you do, how do you argue the fact that isn't the concept of get it right to make it right, to get it right? Mm-hmm. Why not turn a wrong into a right by looking at a camera, which is, of course, you know, in 2012, we have technology. Leslie, as you very well know, we got it here in this studio right here. Sure. I would think there's an argument the other side of the coin saying, hey, it's going to take what, 8 seconds, 10 seconds to look at a camera and say, yep, he's out. That's the argument that you're hearing. Sure. I guess I don't know where it's all going to end up. Leslie, what's your comment? Is it let the umpires make the call and live with their results, or should they increase instant replay and make a wrong into a right?
No, I think the umpires should make the call and leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
I think that goes back, same thing in our league that we have. I mean, the league itself, you know, they're the ones who have to deal with that and decide, you know, the caliber of umpires that they have, just like we decide as owners, you know, how much we want to spend and the caliber of the umpire that we get.
Right.
I think we could spend a little more.
Sure.
That's my personal opinion, to get a little better umpires sometimes. But, you know, there again, I just have such a respect for the game of baseball and
the tradition of
the game. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how I mean, it's just like every team can have a bad day. You could beat any given team on any day. If they're having a bad game, they're having a bad game. And people are people. You know, those are all people playing the game, and the umpires behind the plate and on the field, they're people just the same. It's, you know, it is what it is. So.
Well, we're talking to Leslie Ohmann and Chris Ebright. Bob Ohmann, the owner of the other half of the Ohmanns, is off camera. He wanted the stage to be today, Leslie and Chris. It'll be interesting. Speaking of your umpires, where do your umpires come from? They come from the general area of Newark? They come different places? Are they located?
I think they're from Texas, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or they're actually from all over the country.
Okay.
But we get them from a gentleman out from Texas, I believe. His name is Roberto.
All the kids are the kids. Yep. They're younger umpires. They're fresh out of umpiring school.
Okay.
Which I think there's one in Florida and somewhere else. But that's where he picks them from.
Okay.
We had one kid last year that was 19 years old, and we have players on our team older than him.
Yeah.
You know, he's behind the plate, and he wasn't that bad, but you know, I got a bad rap last year with the umps. So.
Now, looking at the umpires, only 2 do your games, which is kind of ironic. I'm sure it's because of expenses. Sure. It's pretty amazing they can make a good call in a game, and they do a pretty good job with only 2. They cover the whole field with 2 umpires.
They do all right.
It's pretty amazing, to me anyways. Yeah. When I first came to one of your games, I did not realize you only had 2 umpires.
Yep.
And I said, wow, that base umpire is going to check everything out, outfield, infield?
Yeah,
he's got to be everywhere.
They got signals, and I don't know if you watch umpires that close, but they got signals to each other on where to go and different situations, and they're usually running to spots and sprinting around, so they're getting their exercise too.
It's pretty impressive.
Well, and the one thing about our league is it's in our bylaws as a league that coaches are to fill out evaluations after every game.
Right.
Both teams, home and away. So that helps keep them in check a little bit too. So.
Well, it's kind of like
we do have a checks and balances.
It's kind of like area sports. If Jim Senecropi is the coach of the Miners Academy Blue Devil basketball team, he gets a chance to evaluate as well. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like a particular referee or umpire, not coming back. In local sports, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Paul can speak to this too. I think you have like 2 or 3 blackballs, whereas you don't. If a Paul Hellstrom does your game and you don't like the way he did the game, Paul won't be coming back to Waterloo. True, Paul?
He won't even be on the list.
That was an evaluation.
They go to the athletic director and the coaches.
So you could literally, I don't think you have complete control, but you can get rid of a few that you don't like coming to your school. And I guess with your league, it'd be the same thing. If you get some bad reviews, you may not be doing many games.
They will, after so many bad evaluations, they'll actually send them home.
Okay, sure.
But we can't say we don't want someone.
Okay. Well, in high school sports around here, I don't know what it was like down, in Carolina and so forth, but around here, they can literally remove you from the not physically, but they can tell you you're not coming back, or maybe not come up to you when you leave the gym, but you won't get an assignment.
Well, the umpires are in the PC or PGCBL. They're working to advance their career too in umpiring, so they're developing as well.
Right.
Just like the players.
Right.
So they're hoping to make the next step and work professional games and eventually, ultimately, hopefully, major league games. So
it's a dream.
Similar.
But it's a tough argument, and I appreciate your comments because it's been interesting to see the argument. It's kind of going back and forth with a number of calls that are being missed this year. And maybe it's not as many as every other year, and Leslie has a good point. It's a human sport. They're human, even though sometimes the manager doesn't think so. They're human.
Or the owner.
The owner goes nuts. And we're going to talk about the owner and how the Ohmanns do their thing over in Newark. As you know, I'm sort of partial to their operation since I've been over there several times. And not the fact that it has nothing to do with the fact that we're doing 8 of their games on FingerLakes1.com. But we'll talk about their role as owners. Unlike they're not sitting up in some boardroom checking out a flat screen TV to see how their team is doing. They're really actively involved. We'll get to that.
Well, I was sitting next to Bob last night in the
he was
ninth
nervous.
inning. We were standing behind our cameraman, right behind home plate, and he was really
into
feeling it. Yeah, making some noises, talking under his breath. It got tight last night, but but Scott pulled it out at the end.
Well, I think Jeremy gave me a good shot on it when we came back from a break when Bob was having a hot dog.
Oh, did you see that?
And
you probably didn't get a chance to watch that.
I made the comment that was his 4th hot dog of the inning. So he's a hungry owner. And I also said that if he's able to eat the hot dogs, they got to be good enough for us to eat them. So, by the way, you guys have a great stand over there. I love those people over there. They're great. And you just wait for like 12 seconds, and it's the service is there.
Great food. I had a garbage plate before the game.
Oh, did you have the garbage plate?
I didn't eat the whole
garbage
thing.
plate up here. We don't have that back home, so trash plate, garbage plate, whatever. I got to give kudos to the Bren Zone, Brendan Harrington, our play-by-play guy, who worked with me last night. He ordered a hot dog, and he does something which really turns me off. He puts ketchup on a hot dog. That does nothing for the dog. I just can't. I can't even visualize that. And I had to sit next to somebody. I like mustard and relish on a hot dog. You like ketchup too? No, I'm
mustard
from the South. I like coleslaw. On my
oh,
hot
baby, coleslaw. All right.
I even like it on a burger, cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can
with
see
only
that.
coleslaw. And,
oh, really?
So we go out here and I ask.
You're not mustard on a dog then?
Oh, I don't like mustard.
How about
or ketchup?
Wow.
I like mayonnaise. And,
mayo? Okay.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't put ketchup on a hot dog?
I wouldn't put ketchup on a hot dog.
Well, when Brendan Harrington brought that hot dog out there, and that just turned me sour looking at that thing, and I'm thinking he ate it. He did the speed test eating it. And then he ordered a big order of fries. They give you a lot of fries there. And Jimmy Sonacropi, at the end of the broadcast, near the end of the broadcast, moved the bucket, and there had to be half of those fries still there. They were cold, Jimmy. And I gave him a lot of credit. He was a gamer. He broadcast the game and tried to eat a couple fries, and it was hard to do. But.
Well, the game time got caught up to him, so the game started. He didn't have a chance to finish his meal, but that's the way it is when you're broadcasting live. When
you got to be ready when you give the signal. Well, let's take a break here. Leslie Ohmann and Chris Ebright are along with Bob, who's off camera, wanting to have Leslie do the talking this morning, which is a good thing for us. We like a different view here, so that's pretty good. By the way, speaking of the Ohmanns, I want to thank them for joining our show as a sponsor of the Ohmann Theater and, of course, the Newark Pilot Baseball. And I was going through your website, too, Leslie. I noticed that over at the Ohmann Theater, you're showing Brave, and I see that it's performing this week, Monday through Friday. 7:30 showtime. Then on Saturday you have showtimes for Brave, which are 2, 4:30, and 7:30. Sunday same thing, 2, 4, and 7:30.
Great show to bring the kids.
Yeah,
they'll
brave.
enjoy it better at the Ohmann Theater than they would at, say, your average, mall cinema.
Well, we just put a new digital projector
I know.
in,
I was there when you guys were putting it in. Bob showed me around, and it's rated PG, running time 1 hour and 40 minutes. So, by the way, we got coming attractions, just to plug the Ohmann Theater. The Amazing Spider-Man will be performing, showing on July 3rd through the 6th. The Dark Knight Rises, that starts in July 20th. Batman. I like it. So that's pretty neat. And also, let's see, we got Annie Get Your Gun appearing there in August.
Yes.
Nice.
I think we've played that there before, haven't we?
Annie Get Your Gun?
Oh, that's a play.
That's a play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they've done that production there once before, haven't they?
Not that one. They did one last year, Damn Yankees, which was really
nice.
Very well.
Okay, something similar.
Then they got something interesting the next day.
Oh, I made a mistake.
After this play is over, they've got Roy Rogers Jr. is going to come in.
Okay.
And he's going to be live on stage.
Good.
Like Annie Get Your Gun.
Now you got Ron and Nancy, one song opening for Roy Rogers Jr.
Yes.
That, of course, will be on Sunday, August the 12th at 2 o'clock. A lot of things happening at Ohmann. And by the way, I was over in Lyons, like I say, Bob and me hooked up last week to check out the Ohmann Theater. You really got to go. Of course, I'm a Lyons. I was born in Lyons, so was Bob. And so it was pretty neat to see how that Lyons has turned out. But you got to look at before and after pictures of the Ohmann Theater. It just blows you away, the work that they've done, and you guys have done, and you should be very proud of that theater.
Thank you.
Very nice. And, of course, we thank them for joining us as the sponsor on the Dog and Pauly show. Pauly, let's talk about your buddy. Charlie's not in a good mood this morning, as I mentioned out in the parking lot before you showed up today. The worst team in baseball has beat the Mets 2 in a row. It's time to put a fork in the Mets.
It was hard for him to give up those games to the Yankees over the weekend. They won the first game of the series Friday night, and then the Mets gave 2 games away to the Yankees. They just folded to them in the face of the Yankees being who they are, and the Mets not being able to. I think their record is something like 17-5 in interleague play against the Yankees. So then they had a long trip to play after losing that Sunday night game to the Yankees. The Cubs caught them at a good time. Yeah. That would have been a good time to bet against the team with a better record if you're going to be a betting man like that. Wow. Yeah, but Charlie's a little bit down, but he's a little bit happy because we're closing Saturday for our 10-day annual vacation. This Saturday, after the end of the night, we're closed for 10 days, and Charlie just told me to make sure we tell the people that he appreciates their business and what they've done, and Deluxe is going to enjoy their vacation, and it's about it from the Deluxe. Everything's going good. We're having a great summer.
I know you are.
Great summer up there. Usually in the summertime, when the weather first gets nice, our business suffers a little bit because people get to go outside and go to places with decks and stuff. But it went from one extreme to the other, got up to 90, so nobody wanted to be outside. So they all come running back in again for the air condition. There we were, kind of ready for them. So, yeah, it's been a good year for us, and it's a family traditional restaurant. It's almost like the feeling of the program that these folks are running over there.
Yeah, the Pilots.
It's not just about baseball. It's about the family and the quality of everything, the concession stand. Baseball is the closest thing to what it was in 1950 to now. I mean, with the umpires making the same mistakes that they've made it's a traditional game. Basketball's blown out of the water. Football, guys that played in the 50s couldn't even play now. But baseball is still the same game. I always liked it because everybody has got a chance at playing baseball. You can have a 5'8" shortstop, go up the middle, backhand the ball, flip it to the second baseman for a double play, and the bottom of the inning he comes up and he moves a runner over from second to third with no outs. He bunts down and he can play with the big players like A-Rod, who everybody watches him strike out 3 times and get all excited about. Did you see that home run he hit last night? 480 feet. The game was over. Gets all his home runs when it's 8-1. Very critical Yankee fan. But
tell us how you feel.
Here's the problem baseball's got this year.
Hey,
the Yankees aren't playing well.
No, home runs.
And they're letting them get away.
If they don't hit home runs, they don't win.
Yeah, but look what's happening. I mean, they're starting to move away.
Yeah.
They've just moved into the best record in baseball. Well, and here we go again.
We go.
They're getting no pitching. They got Andy Pettit. He's older than you. They got
No, nobody's older than the dog.
But anyway,
the dog is old.
It's I like baseball, and I like what they've done what these folks have done over there, and it's just so high tech. compared to the other small operations you've seen around. Once you start a job, they went in there with something in mind, and I think that's why their attendance and everything.
1100 last night. 11:05.
Come on. On a Tuesday night in Wayne County or Seneca County, when let's face it, that's excellent. Congratulations, you guys. We really appreciate you.
Hey, while we're on that, I guess it would be a good time for me to offer this up. Got a family 4-pack of tickets,
baby,
free for free admission to any Newark Pilot home game, and we're going to send those to the first person to email us at contact@fingerlakes1.com. Subject line Newark Pilots. Include your mailing address.
Yeah, we'll get them out to you
in the email, and first person to do that, we'll send this 4-pack right out later today. And good for any home game. And there must be about 17, 18 more home games, right?
Yeah.
So
we talked about 17 being played.
So really, the beauty of it is you get these free. First of all, if you don't win the tickets, you can still make it out. We're talking $4. Adults, $3 senior and students, but if you win these tickets, you can put a $20 bill in your pocket, go to the ball game and feed your entire family and have a great time. And you're talking 4 hours of great entertainment, and the kids are going to have a good time because they're going to be able to participate in between innings in some of the many activities that they got going on.
They got a lot going on. We're talking about that,
You get to meet the mascot, and after the game, you're going to get to go onto the field and get autographs from the players.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So, you really can't beat it. I know that we're lining up my whole family. My daughter, my wife, my father, my mother, my godson and niece, and my sister and her husband are all trying to pick out a date when we can all go over together.
Well, I enjoyed it Saturday night with Gene and Sandy Lopez, who Leslie and Bob met. Sandy hadn't been to a baseball game. Our good friend Sandy Lopez, who you met.
I enjoyed meeting her.
And then they hadn't been to a baseball game, I guess, in 30 years, 35. And I suggested, let's go to Newark. Why? I said, you got to check this place out. It's amazing. The food is awesome. The park is spotless. It's just a nice experience. And I don't have to broadcast it. They thought, we got in the car, they thought I was working the game. I said, no. I wouldn't do this with you guys if I was working the game upstairs. You guys are downstairs. I want to be a part of this. So they had a marvelous time, and I told Bob about it. They enjoyed the food. Of course, Leslie can appreciate this. The girls told us where to go and get to the concession stand and bring back the food. Good. We took orders, as we men are used to doing. Honey, go get me a cup. Honey, go get me a straw. Honey, do this. Honey, do that. I was at her beck and call. We've been married 46 years, so something has to work. Yes, dear. But we had a great time. I knocked over a Coke, which I did, and I had to go get some paper towels. But it was a fabulous time. And the only knock against Newark Pilot baseball is the sun. It's hard to see. It's hard to see when that sun comes. Oh, baby. It's great to have a sunny night, but you know what? I like a couple of clouds just blocking over. Sure. It's tough. It's got to be tough on the players, too. Sure. I know from the broadcasting standpoint, I'm looking. I got one bad eye, as you know, and I'm going, I think we know where that ball's going because that sun just glares at you. It's just, it's just part of.
Last night, you and Brendan were talking about it on the broadcast.
Oh, it's amazing.
That when that park was originally built, it was facing directly. Sun was over center field when it was setting.
Yeah.
So now the field is tilted, but that's why the press box is a little off kilter too.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is tough.
It is tough, but it's fun though. It's something I look forward to. Yesterday morning, as I get ready to do the broadcast, I said, "Come on, just a few clouds, just a couple,
just enough."
And we got over there wasn't a cloud in the sky.
It does provide, as it did again last night, though. Around the fourth or fifth inning, it provides spectacular views and sunsets over that left field fence beyond the scoreboard.
By the way, my wife says I'm anal about stuff, Leslie and Chris and Bob, and it's true. It's an hour and 32 minutes from 7, 8 o'clock at night till when that goes down past the trees. Hour and 32 minutes. I timed it Saturday night, and last night I got no life. I got no life. Doing the game, I said,
I'm starting to get concerned about you there, Doug.
I know, Leslie. A lot of people are. Join the crowd. An hour and 30-some minutes before that time goes. So just want you to know, I do time those things. Hey, listen, let's talk about other sponsors before we get back talking to Leslie and Chris and Bob. This is the Dog and Pauly Show on a Wednesday. Hope you're enjoying your day. Lizard's Tailgater Lounge, my good buddy Scott Trickler. Had breakfast with him and his son on Monday. Looking forward to tonight. He has trivia night. That's a great little pub up in Waterloo on 40 Church Street. Wednesday trivia night with DJ Paradise entertaining Going to give away some prizes. Got $5 Coors Light pitchers, 35-cent wings, $2 well drinks. Check out Scott Trickler and the Tailgater Lounge Lizards. I like to hang out there at least once or twice a week when I can make it, and I hope to be able to make it in the next couple of nights. So Friday night this coming weekend, of course, he's got the DJ working the karaoke with videos. Saturday, got DJ more music with karaoke. And he's got clams, all the clams you can eat. That's right, it's clam season. $6.99, all you can eat. Man, oh, man. And our good buddies, Marshall's Auto Sales on Routes 5 and 20. I know the Ohmanns drove by there as they drove into Seneca Falls with Chris today. Marshall's Auto Sales, he's got, Pauly, I think 7 or 8 cars out there. And he sells great used cars. If you're looking for a car for your mom, your grandma, your daughter, your son going to school, Dick Marshall's been in business for over 40 years. And I ask you to get involved and check out his cars. And the thing about Dick Marshall, as we talk about every week on this show, he's a local guy. He's a Seneca Falls guy. He's lived in this area for 40 years. So if you buy a car from him, if there's a problem with it, he's going to make it good because he's a Seneca Falls guy. So Dick Marshall, Marshall's Auto Sales. And Pauly, he wanted to remind me when I saw him the other day at Jeremy's down the street that Danica Patrick finished 13th in the Nationwide last weekend. So that was a big development as well.
Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing. Let me tell you about Danica Patrick. Boy, you write this girl. Did you know she's 10th in points in the Nationwide?
That's the minor leagues.
And that's
the minor leagues.
That's with 31 irate guys trying to take her out of the race every week. Last week, a road course guy took her out of the race. Villanova, who she raced with in open wheel, he come up, she's in 4th place, nowhere to go, and he drives right into her back bumper. She is taking a shellacking, especially from guys like you. So Dick and I are going to take his Hummer, and we're going to make it the Go Daddy Go vehicle of Seneca County, and we're going to start promoting it and see if we can get her up here to the Women's Hall of Fame, maybe to come up and meet you, see what makes you tick. Oh,
that's going to be a while. You better come for a week.
She doesn't have enough time in her life.
I was getting ready to say you guys don't mind her on the Go Daddy commercials when they come on during the
No, I don't mind her on the Go Daddy Go, but I run out to try to get to the wherever you do to see the rest of the commercial, and I haven't figured that out yet, so maybe it's good that I know. But anyway, she's close to $400,000 in earnings. She's 10th in points on the Nationwide. Nobody, right now the mentality is nobody, I don't care who wins, don't let her win. So that's the mentality. And the Bush boys do all they can to, any driver they can to intimidate him. But NASCAR's at a good point right now. A good guy won this week. Boyer. It's in the scramble at the top. There's no definitive. Big news in racing would be Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, he's leaving Roush. Leaving Roush.
He's going to Gibbs.
Wow.
That's the night that the lights went out in Georgia. That's the night that oh, baby. What's going to happen this week?
I didn't think he'd ever
Carl
leave.
Edwards and Biffle, and here comes Kenseth. Oh, boy. Don't bet on Kenseth this week. Oh, baby. Yeah, you got to love NASCAR now. The other sports are kind of dying down. Baseball's settling in. And it's just, I'm looking for somebody to charge up. Kurt Busch got mellow this week.
Yeah, he finished
Kyle's
third.
got to find out how to keep his car on the track for the whole race, and the couple of good guys that are running up close to the top. Dale Jr., he had a bad week. He shot back.
He won a couple weeks ago, though.
Yeah, he shot back down through, and he's carrying the anthem for most people that are lukewarm, say racing fans like myself.
Right.
Now I find myself when he leads a lap. When the 90,000 people get up, I get up out of the chair. Whenever Dale leads a lap, I'm up there going, and I'm looking for something to wave. Of course, I don't have anything to wave. And I thought his father was the second coming of you-know-who, but I've learned to like this kid now, and 10 years have gone by, and boy, when they say chip off the old block, I guess it didn't fall on him because two great race drivers. I think he's great.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's great just to go out there and compete every week. And he seems to be a good guy, and Danica enjoys working for him, and everybody around him roots for him, except Tony Stewart, who said, gee, I don't know, why should I congratulate the guy? It took him 4 years to win a race. Tony races at Dundee. He races a dirt car. He's one of the few guys that's not afraid to go out and crash in the second lap, and do that. So it is what it is. But racing right now, I look for it to get real crazy for the next 4 or 5 weeks if somebody tries to take a hold on it. So,
well, Well,
sorry, Danica.
I'm glad. I hope you can arrange Danica to come in. She might be on our show. Well, she'll be on your show, not me, the dog part, but just the Pauly show. I mean, I got nothing against her. I just think if she wasn't cute, she wouldn't be in a race car. I'm sorry. Go, Daddy, go. You know, if she was some homely woman, are we just here on the racetrack? Give me a break. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
All of this.
You know, it's ridiculous.
You've got to understand that we're across the street from the Women's Hall of Fame. He's lived there. He's been on the radio 42 years. I mean, I know guys that have said half of what he said and had a contract out on him in 3 days.
I'm sorry.
This guy's been 42 years.
You ever do get her here, have a little challenge. Even if you can find a golf cart track somewhere.
I'd like to see him and
he might change his tune there.
I respect women. I respect women that make a difference. But I don't like to see them get where they are based on their looks. That to me is ridiculous. And I'm telling you, the fact out, you guys take it for the bank. If that woman didn't have a nice body and a good-looking face, she would not be driving cars. End of discussion. That's the dog view.
Yeah. Well,
this is the dog view.
This could be endless.
Yeah,
we do 3 hours.
We can argue this forever.
And we're curtailing. We haven't even given her a chance for a rebuttal yet.
Don't you
I'm
worry.
sure what I've said,
No.
she's got a lot more to offer.
Listen, our last sponsor to talk about, since we get taken off the air, the Seneca Falls Country Club. Our director, Jim Senecrope, is here to talk about them. Jimmy, a lot going on down at the Country Club. Of course, a couple weeks away, we got the Junior Amateur coming into town.
New
the
York
ladies.
State Women's Amateur, New York State Mid-Amateur Championship, July
9th through the 12th.
9th through 12th, Tuesday through Thursday.
Right.
And right now in the month of June, there's a few days left. You go down and pay for your 18-hole greens fee with a cart. You get a ticket for a free hot dog or free draft beer.
Nice.
Or a free fountain drink, your choice.
Nice. So a lot of things going on. Course is very busy. A lot of people playing.
Course is fantastic.
It's going to be nice. You're looking forward to playing later, I hope. So
today's Wednesday. Yeah,
today's Wednesday.
Down there. I'll be down there about 4:00.
And if
all goes well,
I definitely recommend checking out the Seneca Falls Country Club. And again, if you're interested in a banquet or a wedding, a reception, or a class reunion, Seneca Falls Country Club is the great place to host that. You got a beautiful view of the lake. It's really nice down there.
There's a lot of good things going on too.
Yep.
For example, once a month there's a couples 9 and dine.
Right.
This month is this Friday, and it's the 60s theme. So
nice.
You and your wife or girlfriend sign up with another couple.
Nice.
And, you go out and play. I don't know what they're going to do for 60s theme. I really don't. But, you play 9 holes, usually a fun format, not too competitive. And then you have dinner, get some prizes, and have a few drinks. We played in the last couples 9 and dine.
You had a good time?
Yeah, we had a great time. It was a pirate theme. Oh. And so what would happen is you'd hit a ball to like the 9th green, for example. We get up there and there's like a pirate's chest and like a couple palm trees you had to putt around.
Nice.
But then you open up the pirate chest and there was like 30 Coors Lights in there on ice.
Wow.
So
nice.
And then just to give you an idea of the type of fun that it can be, we had a great dinner. As a food down there has been outstanding this year. Then we went into the lounge room and ended up playing Texas Hold'em till about 12:30 in the morning. So it's
sound like you had a good time.
Usually we tout the golf course and how great it is, this condition, and come down and play. But this week I want to just talk a little bit, like I said, about the couples aspect about something,
nice.
And that leads me to. I'm trying to get my daughter. She's 6 years old. I'm trying to get her into golf, and we usually bring her down with one of our other friends.
Yeah.
They have a daughter the same age, and they're good friends, and they run around. They don't really focus too much on golf. But what I do is, I took her down. I asked her Saturday. I said, "How would you like to go down to the golf course, just me and you today?" And she said, "Yeah." So sometimes she doesn't always say that. So me and her get down there on Saturday afternoon, and I'll tee off on the normal tee,
right?
And I tell her that we wait till we get to the red dot, which is a 100-yard marker, and she tees off from there.
Nice.
And we played 5 holes where she completed the hole. So it might have taken her 20 to get it in the hole, but she was actually playing the game. And when it's just me and her, even if my wife's in the picture, it gets blown out of proportion. Yeah. But if it's just me and her, she'll ask me, "Daddy, what? Show me how to do this." Or
nice.
So
that's neat.
So Saturday was like a breakthrough day. She actually played golf.
So she might want to do it again.
Oh, I'm sure she will. She had fun, and she made a one putt that was kind of long. She had one good drive, and I don't care what age you are as a golfer. That's all you need is that one shot, a day to keep you coming back. One shot around.
That's right.
Get you hooked. So.
Well, we want to thank our sponsors, and now since we've spent 15 minutes talking about Danica, we want to go back to Leslie Ohmann and our buddy Chris Ebright. Bob Ohmann is off camera,
Pauly.
and Pauly gets me excited every week bringing up her name, and he does it just intentionally since him and me have been friends. How many years, Pauly? About 50? I remember when he owned the Franklin Hotel in Waterloo, I used to go up to the counter there and sit down, have a cold beer, and chit-chat with Paul. Remember those days, Paul?
Yes. Yeah, well, you asked for this.
Oh, here we go.
There's a saying, and I think they invented it for him.
Oh, what is it?
Some guys would cry if you hung them with a new rope. He spent 10 minutes complaining about sunshine and 75 degrees in Newark, New York. And it was raining, he's complaining. When the leaves are falling in the fall, he's got to go out, he's complaining. When it snows, beautiful. I mean, come on.
I'm looking for the ultimate exercise. When I do a broadcast a game, I'd like to be able... I got a bad right eye. My vision's not very good. And I love that park, and we're going to talk about that, but just the sun just keeps on moving down. Let's go back and talk. We got Leslie Ohmann along with Chris Ebright and Bob Ohmann off camera. Thank God he's off camera. And because he'd get involved in this discussion, we'd be here for about 3 hours. The beauty of the Newark Pilots, I know that I've done a commentary about your operation, and I enjoy going over there. Obviously, you know that. I've gotten to know all your staff pretty much. I think I know the people in the concession stand by first names. The beauty of Newark, and I'm not just saying you guys are the only ones, but as owners, Leslie, you guys have taken a view, in my judgment. You're very active. You're involved with the team. You're involved with the fan base. You're involved with those kids from RIT that help you put the promotions. Kathy, it's over. Talk a little bit about the attitude of you and Bob relative to... You could have put your resources into owning the team. You could, guys, have gone off campus and gone back to Carolina for the summer, done whatever, and let somebody else run your team. You have Brian as your GM. But talk a little bit about why you two so much involved in the game. I think it's something that you guys should get credit for. It's amazing to see how you interact. It's really something that I think you take pride in.
Well, we do, and thanks for the compliments right away. But one of the reasons clearly that we are involved is because it is a business to us.
Right.
We love the sport, and we're both very, very competitive. But Chris will tell you that. But the one reason that we are just so involved is because we're new as a team owners.
Right.
And but I will say league-wide, I have to say most of the owners are at this level are very, very involved. One thing I really appreciate is I've become to know a lot of our season ticket holders and regular fans that come out to the games, and I just can't say enough about our fans. And we have this one kid, Cody, and
I saw you, madam.
I mean, the first game, I don't even have my roster memorized yet, and
he knew it.
He knew it off the back of his hand. He's telling me who's up to bat, and but not only that, it's opening night, it's chaotic, everything, and he just comes up and gives you the biggest hug, and you're just like, this is what it was really about. It's really about trying to, for us, a business and the love of the sport, and actually trying to bring entertainment to Newark. That's what it's really about to us.
And Chris, you being the head coach have got to be really admiring owners of this.
Oh, absolutely.
They really get involved.
Yep. They couldn't ask for a better organization, better owners, and they make my job so much easier.
And, having been over there as a non-broadcaster like we were last weekend with friends of mine, I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you pick up tips from fans that may make changes in the way you do things. I mean, as far as maybe certain things that you want to have promotions, or maybe something you can add to the concession area. I guess you have taken tips from some of the fans that have helped you as well.
Oh, absolutely. Even just last night, I got. Some people would call them complaints. I don't. I just consider it a way to make their experience better.
Sure.
And even our experience, so that we're learning as well.
Right.
So, we're not claiming to be anything that we're not, but
no.
It's just every game you're gonna get tips and this and that, and it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your music's too loud, and some fans may think that, and we have. We're trying to tap that market. I think what I'm trying to focus on is the middle-aged market, more of my age market.
Okay.
Because we tend to have an older crowd or a lot of younger kids running around.
Sure.
And so I'm trying to focus on how to get my age, the guys that are actually sitting up at the bar at the local restaurant around the corner. I'd rather them come out to the ballpark and sell them a beer there. They're going to buy a beer anyway, and probably cheaper at the ballpark.
I was going to say, like Jimmy pointed out, and Bob knows, your husband knows, and I mean, golly, you go in there and you spend $4 to get in the place. If you're a senior,
we make it very cost effective for a family. Yeah.
You get a couple of sandwiches and some fries and a couple of beers. You're talking $18, $20 bill for entertaining a family of 3 or 4. That's pretty darn right reasonable in this economy. It's pretty amazing. And I think I know it's true, Chris. What I never noticed it. Maybe I never really paid much attention leading up because we're working on paperwork ready for the broadcast. But I kind of found it was neat the way the team comes out and holds up the hoses, the hose down the field before the game.
Oh yeah,
I had never seen that before. I must have been too engaged in my paperwork. Pretty neat. So everybody kind of actually gets involved in doing things.
Everyone helps out doing something.
It's neat.
And that's actually our pitching staff that will go help Dan.
That's nice.
Dan and Dave work on the field and
keeps
them busy.
And I got to tell you, I know that I'm pro Newark and obviously knows that, but you got to go over and check out this field. I mean, literally, it is gorgeous. It is. I mean, Leslie, Bob mentioned the gentleman who runs it, who takes care of the field.
Dan.
Oh, God, what a spectacular job. It is so manicured and so neat. It just is really a pleasure I'm sure, to play on.
Yeah, he does. It's the best playing surface in the league. And he knows his stuff, and, I mean, it shows.
And by the way, before we get back talking about, I want to mention understand Leslie is a big fan of the King, Richard Petty. We'll talk about that with her in a second. By the way, just so you know, the upcoming schedule for the Newark Pilots as we get ready for the holiday week, a week from today, of course, being the 4th of July. Tonight, they're on the bus heading out to Oneonta. We wish them nothing but the best. And then tomorrow night, they're back on the bus going to Glens Falls. And then on Friday night, they're going again out of town to Elmira. So you got 3 straight away games.
Yep.
Now, is that a quirk in the schedule, or is that just the way it works sometimes?
I think it's just the way it works. Actually, I don't mind it because in July, we're home a ton.
Nice.
And so when all the other teams are traveling, we'll be sitting at home. So
all right.
I'd rather get it out of the way now.
We're webcasting a ton of games in July. We've done 3 of the 8 so far.
Yeah, I'm going to mention I'm going to mention this. But On the Road Again, Willie Nelson, a great song. And so you guys are going to be playing that hopefully on the bus, driving down to those spots. Saturday, they're going to be home against Albany. Of course, that's the 30th of June. July 1st, they're on the road at Watertown. That's Sunday. July 2nd, they're on the road against Elmira. Then they're home on Tuesday, July 3rd. FingerLakes1.com will be back in the booth broadcasting your Oneonta game. 7 o'clock broadcast time. That's next Tuesday, July the 3rd. And let's see, broadcasting that game will be Dave Barnick and Brendan Harrington will be calling that game.
Brendan can't do that game, actually.
Oh, can he?
No, can you do that game?
I won't be in town.
Yeah, I might have to call that game.
Okay. It'd be great.
I'm
you
have to get
Dave.
Brendan's notes. I don't know.
All right, well, Brendan got tied up. Well, anyways, Dave Barnick, a good buddy of mine who I had the proudness to hire him way back in WSFW days as a colleague of mine to help me with games. Dave Barnick's from Ovid, New York. Big guy, and the reason I hired him is as Paul can appreciate, people were chasing me around bars, complaining about my commentaries, and I wanted to hire a big assistant who was intimidating looking. And Dave's a big guy, but he's
gentle giant.
Gentle giant. Dave Barnick will be in Newark. You guys will get a chance to meet him. He's a great guy. So he'll be working now, I find out, with Jimmy Senacropi. That's good.
Or maybe.
But anyways, you guys, that'll be our next broadcast. And on July 4th, I'm sure you got Utica at home on the holiday. That should be a spectacular night. Let me guess, fireworks at the end of that game, right?
I know we're having them on the 3rd.
Okay. The night of our broadcast.
Good.
So
good.
I know we're having them that night. And,
excellent.
I think we're working on trying to secure for the 4th as well.
Good. All right. So, and by the way, our remaining broadcast, the 8 games that Bob and Leslie and Jim have agreed to do, again, July 3rd next Tuesday. Oneonta is the opponent. And again, I'll be coming back. I'll be back before then to watch a game, but I'll come back on the 9th working with Dave Barnick. We'll be doing the Watertown game. That's a Monday night. And then the Wednesday night, a couple nights later, I'll be back in there doing the Amsterdam game with Brendan Harrington. And then on the 18th, we do the Cooperstown game. I'll be working with my buddy Dave Barnick, and then our last regular season game will be the end of the month, July 29th, Elmira the opponent, and I'll be working with Brendan as well. So that should be that's our 8-game package. And
then you guys make the playoffs. We'll probably do a couple more.
Yeah, you never know.
That's what we're shooting for.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I got to say, and Bob's off camera, but Leslie and Chris, from a broadcasting standpoint, I've done a zillion different games in my career of 40 years broadcasting. The people you have in the booth and the people that work with you are really very helpful. They're there with the stats. They're there with the lineups. Anything you want, they get it for you. And I really want to say thank you to those people. I may forget their names. I've been introduced to them. But you got a lot of people up in the booth that help us, not just us, but the PA announcer and the radio guy.
The interns.
The interns. I got to say that is impressive. Being an old-time broadcaster, it's nice when you say, I need this. Boom. They go get it and bring it up. And I just want to say that's very nice for us.
Well, thank you.
So we don't have to run around. We can devote ourselves getting ready for the broadcast. It's really impressive.
I had a couple questions for Chris.
Sure.
Number one, how's Crowdis doing? He missed last night. You had Landy at short, and Crowdis was out with a sickness, staph infection or something like that?
Staph infection on his left thigh, yeah. He's probably going to be back in the lineup tonight.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah,
okay. Now, has Landy ever played short before for you guys, or was that first time?
No, this is actually the second time. Gave Crowdis a day off. I think it was last week. Because our next off day isn't until July 16th or something.
Wow.
So I'm going to start, giving guys rest here and there. But no, Landy's usually a third baseman. He's there to school as well. But he's got the arm and the range to.
And patient at the plate. That's what I've noticed about him. He seems
Yes.
to be comfortable settling in, patient, to draw some walks.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to say, any errors last night in the field for the Pilots? I think maybe.
Not for us.
Which is good because I know so far this year that's been a issue. I think it was 47.
That was our second game, error.
We looked like a good soccer team the first part of the year.
47 errors through the first 17 games, which is tough. But, bunch of guys, some of the guys are back from last year, but a lot of guys getting comfortable with each other, and it's good to see that that's improving because obviously you need three. It's tough to win a lot of games with average of 3 errors a game.
They're coming around.
That's right.
Again, and I think it was, the jitters at first,
right?
And now they're good buddies.
Well, opening night, 1,900 fans there. I'm sure they do get jitters.
It's a lot of people.
When people come out to support a community team like this, and these kids are from all over the country, they want to, perform well and, make it worth the while for everybody that turned out. So I'm sure that there is some butterflies there.
Sure.
Even though they do play, so some of these guys come from, big time schools where they are well attended colleges. But I just think when you get that type of community support, the players want to pay them back, with a victory for coming out. So,
good. Well, by the way, Leslie, we got to ask you a couple questions. We don't want you to run off before I ask these questions. I understand you're a big Richard Petty fan. Now,
I say big. I just, yeah.
Do you have a favorite race driver? Do you have one?
It's funny. Well, first let me say
Sure.
I think it's funny how the Northerners call us Southerners rednecks when you guys love NASCAR now. So I just got to throw that out there. Let me get mine in just a little bit.
How did I introduce myself to you when I came in?
You
Paul
called yourself a
American
redneck.
I
love it. That's great.
We're rednecks up here too. I mean, you drive down the street, you'll see people mowing their lawn with a beer hat on with a tube beer. I mean, that's the ultimate redneck. So I mean,
yeah, but I get a lot of flack for that.
It's all right.
But I think it's the Northerners that moved down south that,
Yeah.
They think you don't know anything about the state of New York. And
There you go.
that's the other thing. If you say you're going up to New York, they say, oh, the city. And
Well,
a lot
no,
of people
I
don't
don't-
realize how beautiful this state is.
I agree.
And it's
I agree
it's
with you. A lot of
shame.
people think New York's just a city.
Absolutely.
They don't
And,
realize the
it's
beautiful Finger Lakes.
I love it up here in the summer. It's beautiful. I could do it on the winter, but anyway. I grew up in Randolph County. It's where I first moved there in that area, and lived in Level Cross, actually, where the Richard Petty Museum is.
Okay.
And my uncle actually owns some small racetracks in Asheboro, North Carolina, Caraway Speedway.
Okay.
And a lot of these old-timers started out there. That's where they did race. A lot of the Pettys did. His
Okay.
brother, even Maurice Petty. all these guys have. Mike Skinner, I don't know if you guys know
sure
him.
Yep.
He was a regular. He was a winner there at Caraway Speedway. So I've been around it all my life. I know it. I like the sport. So yeah. But to me, he set the precedence for. Just there again. I have this thing with sports is I always pull for an underdog if I don't like either one of the teams.
Right.
And I always respect the guy who is the guy, and and he's the king to me. So
yeah, that's great. Well, you're not alone. I'm sure millions of other people agree with you. How about your favorite football team? You got a favorite college team?
Well,
that's right, North Carolina State, right?
Yeah, and I just thought I had to represent them because Syracuse is coming into the ACC.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think about that?
Syracuse.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the basketball part, but I really like the football part because NC State can handle them in football. But I think it'll bring a lot of money into the ACC, and I think that obviously that's the purpose. But it'll be nice.
Now, how about this? We played you guys in Raleigh this year in basketball. Syracuse went down and played NC State in December, and a lot of Syracuse fans there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that was my point earlier, is that there are actually being born and raised and still living in North Carolina. I'm actually a rare breed now. I mean, it's not uncommon for someone to say, where are you from? You're in my state asking me where I'm from. It's kind of comical. It's like, really? You're rare,
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of Northerners there, and there are a lot of Syracuse fans. Bob's daughter actually earned her master's degree from Syracuse. So
nice. Gotta love it.
So she's an NC State fan at home. So she's going to have a fun time when you guys come.
Well, I despise the ACC, but there's a couple programs that I actually like in the ACC, and NC State's one of them. I like Wake. Can't stand Duke or Carolina. I can't stand Boston
I'll have to
College.
agree with you on that
Can't
one.
stand Miami. Can't stand Florida State. Don't mind Virginia. Don't mind Clemson, don't mind Georgia Tech, but NC State's one of my favorites. And one of the reasons why is I went to Syracuse, and my freshman year, right across the hall from me was a kid named Ray Randall from Greenville, and he became one of my best friends. And so I spent many times. We would drive down for the weekend, sometimes leave at 9 at night and go down there for a weekend
road trip. Yeah.
And
so baseball's really big in Greenville.
Yeah, they have a minor league team
right
there.
Yeah.
And actually, I went to a high school game. Oak Hill, was it Oak Hill, or what's the name of the high school? Maybe in Kinston. He actually lived in Kinston.
Okay. And there is a minor league team there in Kinston.
Yeah, and in Greenville, right? So.
Yeah, I believe so.
But yeah, through him I became I wouldn't say a fan of NC State, but I was certainly aware of everything that was going on with them from the recruits, because he would always talk about it. And Syracuse also played North Carolina State in football a few times over the past decade or so. Maybe I remember Torrey Holt lit up Syracuse bad one year, made me want to cry. So you're right. You're probably going to have your way with us in football, but we're going to focus on basketball when we.
And Doug, you asked me who my favorite professional football team is, and ironically, Bill Cowher went to NC State. And,
really?
And I'm a Steelers fan.
All right.
And I became a Steelers fan because I was a cheerleader and growing up in middle school and high school, and our uniforms were black and gold.
Okay.
And the Steelers' colors were black and gold. So I could put on my cheerleading uniform and watch the game, and I thought, I was doing something big. So.
Are you a little surprised he never got back into coaching, Cowher? He's been offered opportunities from different teams. He stayed in the broadcast booth, I guess.
I'm surprised. He actually lives in Raleigh now.
Okay.
He lives in our hometown, and his wife just passed away.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, yeah.
I believe it was last year. And so, I am a little surprised. We were kind of hoping that he would go and coach maybe the Panthers when Fox left there.
Right.
I don't even know if it was offered to him or what.
Right.
But
he's always one of the top 2 or 3 that gets asked to come or consider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know he had a daughter that was just graduated, I think, this year or last year, something in high school. So I think he wants to stay around there for that, especially since his wife has been sick and all of that. So.
Well, that's too bad.
But I am a little bit surprised. I'd love to see him get back in the game that way.
He does a good job on TV in the analysis side of it. He certainly knows his game.
He's young enough he could still jump back in.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Coughlin is the oldest coach in the NFL.
Waterloo, New York.
And Bill's not close to his age. And also with Bill, maybe he feels as if maybe he went into that with mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't owe anybody anything. But before we get away from you guys, I want to say 2 quick things. One, 3 of the greatest basketball games that I ever saw, and I don't know which way it rates, was NC State beating the Dream Team.
Houston.
And Jimmy Valvano running around for 2 minutes trying to find somebody to hug. There was so much excitement. He just kept running around. And
That's
he
great.
was always a favorite coach of mine. He brought a lot of spirit to the game, and then he suffered bad break in his life. And he's a close friend of Jim Boeheim, who I played sports against when Jim was up here in this area years ago. And I've seen him around different times and listened to him speak. He was a motivator. And that was one of the greatest basketball games I ever saw. I mean, they had the Dream Team from Houston. Everybody knew who it was. I don't know, but
Drexler,
Olajuwon.
Oh yeah, they had nobody. They had a guy named Charles. The guy that took the last shot for North Carolina State missed it by 5 feet and went right into his friend's hands, and he went up and put it in. And they barely could touch the rim. That team. North Carolina State, and the other ones were flying down with elbows above the rim and doing that. And that's the kind of game I like. That was the working man's basketball team dismantling the team, like that. But
Pauly, not to interrupt you, but Coach Valvano just got inducted into the North Carolina Hall of Fame yesterday.
Oh, neat!
So I read that yesterday.
That's awesome,
and he's most deserving of that.
Should be in a lot of Hall of Fames.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy talk about overachiever. And he got it done in a short time span. I don't know what more he could have brought to the table. That was that. And another thing, before we leave you guys, I'd like to say, you're very soft-spoken and very dedicated to what you're doing, everything like that. But I try to visualize myself being a home plate umpire after the last strike was called and trying to take my hat off and move my chest protector and slide out, and I could see Chris coming from one corner and you coming from this side, and I'm saying, oh boy, here I'd love to get a audio of, and the game was close or something. I'm sure you have another side, right?
I've been pretty quiet this year. Like I said, I got a bad rap last year, I think. I did chase one as soon as he came out of the gate. I chased him all the way back to the building, back to the umpire locker room, and just letting him have an earful the whole way. And so I'm not scared to get on their case and or the coach's case.
It's okay.
But
you won the championship last year, so whatever you were doing must have been working.
Well,
well, I think there's different titles for everybody. Everybody can be a good fan. Somebody can own a team. Somebody can do this. But I think out of the 3, yous are all working on one mission. But you sound like you're a baseball purist to me. I mean, I think you just love everything the game stands for.
I actually do.
Because you went back.
I love the strategy of the game.
Right.
It's that's the thing that intrigues me, I think, the most. There's a lot of sports out there. You take the NBA, for example. Right. To me, there's no strategy left in that game anymore.
No.
This is a game. That's why I say I like watching it, where I'm not getting distracted by all the other entertainment in a major league ballpark. But there's the flow, the strategy. There really is something to be said about that, and that's why it's still one of the greatest sports to me.
It is. It is.
Well,
no
in closing,
doubt.
I say to you, if you can walk the walk, keep talking the talk.
Thank you very much.
Because you know where you're coming from. So when you say something to somebody, I'm sure there's some kind of constructive criticism in it, no matter how bad it gets.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you've had some great comments this morning. I really must compliment you on it. Taking shots at the dog. That's
I just
good.
catch the fallout from you, Harold.
Somebody's got
you step into it, and I try to give you a napkin to wipe yourself off.
I know.
That's great.
And I can just
I have to remember that one.
I can imagine the next few days I'll be getting a package from the Hellstrom home, a big pair of sunglasses. As every time now I'm in Newark, I'll be looking out to left field.
Somebody's got to give it back. You were taking shots at the owner of the ballpark where we were sitting in last night. Salem he was eating. I think what you said was, because I watched the webcast when I got home last night, I think it was something like, oh, look at there. It's Bob Ohmann, owner of the pie. He's down there eating it looks like he's got 2 hot dogs in each hand.
And then we said, if it's good enough for him to eat, we must be okay too to eat.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't have popcorn. That's his true love, is popcorn.
Well, I saw that's the other nice thing about being the owner. I was by the concession. He just walked by and grabbed a bag. He didn't pay for it. He didn't even tell anybody.
1,200 fans at the game, and one of them with his back to the field, asking everybody next to him, "What happened there? What happened there? What happened there? I'll be back when the sun goes down."
That's good. Well, listen. We certainly appreciate you guys coming in. Chris, I look forward to seeing you the next few days, no doubt. Enjoy your road trips.
Thanks.
I know you mentioned about you giving the team a C+ thus far, and that's okay.
Yep.
It's better than a D.
Yep.
And Leslie, you've been a pleasure, as I knew you would be on this show. We thank you for coming in and sharing your thoughts. We want you to come back sometime.
You made it tolerable, so I'm not
You're kind of relaxed, right? We do have fun. So you get a chance to hear Paul beat up on the dog. It's okay. That's the reason
I like
it's.
that.
I know you do. Most people do. But and we want to say thanks to our buddy Bob to our left, who didn't want to be a part of the on-camera show this morning, but he'll be back to be a part of that as well down the road. So we look forward to having him back every 4 or 5 weeks during the baseball season to give us updates. And again, the Ohmann Theater is operating. Check out the website, and we thank them for joining us as a sponsor on this show to keep us able to do this show. Jimmy, nice shot on the hot dogs. That was good, and we look forward to a lot of special events. Once again, our next, the Pilots, just so you know, let me run this down before we sign off. If you're interested in checking out some of these games, they're on the road the next 3 nights. Wednesday night, they're in Oneonta. Tonight, of course, tomorrow night, they'll be in Glens Falls. And then they're in Elmira on Friday night. The next home game for the Pilots. And again, it's really something, an entertainment special to get over there to check out what they offer. Saturday, June 30th, this coming Saturday, Albany at home. Game time, 7:05. And it's a lot of fun, so check it out. July 1st, they're on the road at Watertown. July 2nd, they're in Elmira. Our next broadcast on FingerLakes1.com will be next Tuesday, July 3rd. Oneonta comes into town, and Leslie says they're going to have fireworks at the end of the game. Should be a lot of fun. And, of course, July 4th, that should be a lot of fun as well at Coburn Park. Utica will be at home, so lots of action in Newark, and check out. It is truly a good entertainment idea. Yes, Jimbo.
Email us, contact@fingerlakes1.com if I haven't checked if we've got a winner yet.
Sure.
But if you want a family 4-pack of tickets, free admission to any home game, email us, contact@fingerlakes1.com. Newark Pilots in the subject line, and put your mailing address and name in the body of the email, and we'll send these out this afternoon. You can get the full schedule, newarkpilots.com. You can learn more about the Perfect Game Baseball League at pgcbl.com, which is an outstanding website. Updates every day from the previous night, and league leaders and all that. And then, yeah, definitely come out to the ballpark. If it's just for one game, I guarantee if you come for one, it won't be your last.
You'll be back. Okay, thanks to Leslie Ohmann, Chris Ebright, and Bob Ohmann off camera. We thank you for joining us. And again, hopefully you've enjoyed the Dog and Pauly show. And Pauly, we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. We're off next week, July 4th.
Enjoy it.
All right, folks, take care, everybody. And as we get ready to wrap this show up, we've enjoyed it. We hope you have, as we really enjoy doing these types of shows. And again, we don't want to overemphasize the fact that it's an entertainment special, a tough economy. For a $20 bill, you can go out and have a ball as you visit Coburn Park in Newark. So, without further ado, Jimbo, we are ready to say goodbye to our audience here on a Wednesday, the 27th of June, 2012. This has been the Dog and
Pauly Show.
Take care, everybody, and ignore the comments about taking shots at the dog.